All right, so in lesson 2, we're going to be talking about prime factorization, which is a very important skill to know for the higher level math classes. So let me show you the technique that I think works best. If you go ahead and break down your number, you're given 6, it's going to be 2 and 3. And then when you break down x to the second, um, right now just write the variables again. So our answer is going to be 2 times 3 times x to the second. Let's just write it like that for now. You can break it down further, but we're not going to. Okay, take a look at 24. It's going to be 3 times 8, 2 times 4, and then what makes 4? 2 times 2. You got to break them down until you can't break them down any further. So our answer for this one's going to be put the lowest numbers first. So 2 times 2 times 2. So the numbers that got broken down. And then you have a 3 left over. And then I got x to the third power. That'll be my answer for that one. All right, let's take a look at 49. It's just going to be 7 times 7. There's only one way to make that one. Your answer is going to be 7 times x squared times y to the third. All right, last one is 90. So when you break down 90, I like to use 9 and 10, 3 and 3. When you break down 10, you're going to use 2 and 5. Okay. So start with the lower numbers, 2, 3, 3, 5, x, y to the fourth. Okay. Let's move on. Make sure if you need these still, you should pause the video. When we have two terms, you have to find the GCF, so the greatest common factor, and I'll show you how the prime factorization really helps. So you're going to get 10 broken down. 2 times 5 makes 10. You're going to write the lowest number first, and then you're going to write x, 4 times. To break down 18, you can do 3 and 6, and then 2 and 3. Your lowest number goes first, and then your next lowest, and then you have 2 x's. So what do they have in common? We have a pair of 2's. There's no 5's that match. There's no 3's that match with each of the factorizations. So we're going to move on to the variables, and it's going to be one of the x's and then another. So our GCF is going to be 2x, 2x to the second power. All right, and then eventually we'll get to the next step, but that's what you need to do for that one. When you break down this next one, notice there's 3 terms. I'm just going to write them here. It's going to save us time. There's 3 A's and there's 3 B's. All right, so for this one, there's 2 A's and 2 B's. For this one, there's 2 A's and 3 C's. Okay, so what do they have in common? They have an A in common. They all have to have this in common. So looks like there's not going to be a B in our answer, and there's not going to be a C. So our answer is just going to be A to the second power. All right, if you need this, hit pause. All right, so first thing I want to do is break down the 18. And then I'm going to break down the 27. Why don't you try this first? All right, so I broke these down. I'm going to write them in the table we have here. So put the lowest numbers first. And then we have 2 variables right there. And then for 27, we got 3 times 3 times 3. And then we have 2 Q's Okay, so what combines here? So just the two pairs of threes. So your answer is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9. The variables don't match. So your GCF is going to be 9. Let me show you. Okay, so what's left over? Only this, this, and this for the first term. So all you're going to do is write 2p to the second power, put a plus sign since the next one's positive. What's left over? 3q. So it's 3q squared. So eventually you're going to have to know how to do this, which is called factoring out the GCF. Hit pause if you need to. All right, so let's take a look here. We have pretty easy examples until we get to the examples with 3 terms. Those can be tricky. Then we have a lot of practice. So I'm going to have you try this whole page first. So you're going to have to break down the 10, break down the 40. You're going to write the prime factorization for both of them here. So go ahead and do that one first. All right, so there's prime factorization. Circle what is in common. They don't have to be connected. You can just circle what's in common. Okay, so we have 2 times 5 times x in common, which is 2 times 5 is 10 times x is 10x. All right, what's left over? We have x to the third plus, and then we have 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's what's left over. And that's what you write. For the next one, go ahead and try that on your own. So break down the 4, break down the 7, and write them in the table. All right, so when you break down 4, you get 2 and 2. And then p times x times x. When you break down 7, you just get 7. So it's going to be 7, but it's negative, times q times x. The only thing they have in common, they don't have a number in common, but they have x in common, 2 of them. So our GCF is going to be x times x, which is x squared. What's left over? 2 times 2 times p, which is 4p. We have a negative here, so it's going to be negative 7 and q. All right. For these two, it's the same, so go ahead and break them down first. We have 3 terms in both of these examples. And so I want you to try them on your own first, and then I will show you the answers. All right, so for this one, all they have in common is going to be a 2. And so then when you factor out the 2, you got a lot to fill in. I'll show you here, 2 times x squared. And then we have a negative here, so it's going to be minus. And then you're going to have leftover, which is 2 times 2 times x, which is 4x. And then you don't have any leftovers for this one, so you have to put a 1. All right, so that's that one. And then I'm going to show you this other one, so make sure you try it. All right, so when I broke down 12, I got 2, 2, and 3. And then I know it's x times x. When I broke down 16, I got 2, 8, which is 2, 4, and then 2, 2. So for 16, we have 2, 2, 2, 2 times x. And then for the last one, I got 2, 2, and 5. I forgot to put the negative in the beginning, but as long as you have it there, you'll be okay. Combine what is in common. So they all share 1, 2, They all share another one. And then they all share, actually, that's it. So they all share two twos. So you have 2 times 2, which is 4. That's your GCF. And then you're going to bring down the leftovers. All right, so we have 3 times x, which is 3x squared. Oops. Okay, 3x squared. We don't have any negatives. We have a bring down a plus. We have 2 times x, which is 4x. And then the last one we have is just going to be 5 times -1, which is -5. All right, so then let's see what else we have left. We have a couple more examples, and then the mastery check. I'll tell you what, if you can get 3, 4, 5, 6 done, you don't have to do the mastery check. So yeah, you can skip 1 and 2. So those are pretty a lot of practice here. So if you do 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll give you credit for the mastery check. So try those on your own. If you need to check in with a partner, go for it. And I'll see you.